One of Epstein's victims has just exposed Ghislaine Maxwell's connection to Hollywood. And according to allegations, Ellen was the one helping Ghislaine recruit more girls for Epstein. Victim statements, Epstein's emails, and even his personal journal all point toward Epstein being connected to the entertainment industry. Ellen shut down her show in the same month that Epstein's investigation began. And today, we may finally be starting to understand why.
I do not believe he died by suicide, no.
And do you believe that, do you have any speculation or view of who?
No, I don't.
Epstein may have been seen as the leader, but Ghislaine Maxwell was allegedly the one bringing him victims. And without Ghislaine, Epstein might never have been able to grow or operate in the way he did. Several of Epstein's closest allies have confirmed that the only reason they even got involved with Epstein was because of Ghislaine. Ghislaine was born into a wealthy British family and used her elite upbringing to enter the circles of some of America's most powerful people. And it wasn't just the elites she was interacting with, because victims say they were first approached by Ghislaine and witnessed Maxwell in full control of the situation.
And saw Ghislaine Maxwell in full flight.
She would turn like that. And like as school's getting out, she's like, I've got to get the nubiles. I'm going to get the nubiles.
What did she mean by that? And what did you witness?
So several times I was in the car with her and she would ask the driver to stop the car. And she'd dash across to the school or the park or wherever she was going. And she would like write down her phone number for a child, a young girl. And then I'd see that child at the house. And she'd say, they're auditioning. You know, I found a model in the park. And I thought it was really strange because I did see a couple girls in braces. And I've never seen a model with braces.
Of course, it was a ruse. Epstein claimed to help manage Victoria's Secret. And Maxwell was his eager model scout.
He asked me to take my shirt off, so I took my shirt off.
Instead, as Maria unwittingly witnessed, Maxwell was happily procuring girls to feed Epstein's insatiable appetite for with teen and young women.
He started getting a little excited about it, and he started touching himself.
On the 28th of June 2022, Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for related crimes linked to Jeffrey Epstein. The sentence covered her role in recruiting and facilitating underage individuals over the course of about a decade. Victim statements, eyewitness reports, along with hundreds of thousands of emails over a 10-year period were presented as proof that Ghislaine was working for Epstein and would travel all over the world searching for victims. Ghislaine would allegedly approach victims and offer them money.
Weren't sure who this guy was, but because Ghislaine seemed so proper, surely it's got to be legit. Her posh upbringing, her accent, gave this veneer of respectability. Coming from a woman, I think that was incredibly manipulative, and I think it was absolutely critical in Epstein's operation.
Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's most vocal victims, explained how it happened. According to her accounts, this exact pattern was repeated with dozens of other girls, with a clear method of targeting vulnerable and immature individuals and offering them money in exchange for something seemingly simple. She described how, once they were at the hotel, the situation would escalate in ways they did not expect. Ghislaine Maxwell was not just on the sidelines either, and at times, it is alleged she would even physically restrain victims.
Ghislaine got me quickly into it turned very sexual, and it was straight away from both of them. I got paid $200 and the butler drove me home.
They acted very normal about the situation. They tried to validate what had happened. From the outside perspective, you understand the grooming involved and what transpired in that room.
These victims were later allegedly threatened, stalked, and pressured into silence. Virginia Giuffre and Maria Farmer both recalled being told by Ghislaine that if they went to the authorities, they would be killed. Shockingly, Maria Farmer says she actually tested this. She went to the FBI in 1996 and told them everything, but according to her account, nothing came of it. The FBI reportedly did not act on her complaint, and she has also claimed that someone later informed Ghislaine that she had spoken to authorities. After that, Maria says she was stalked and harassed until she eventually felt forced to leave and go into hiding.
She was the very first victim to officially report Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell to the authorities. But in a pattern that would be set in the decades ahead, her complaint was ignored.
They just kept it all quiet, put it in the bottom drawer. And they were so dismissive that I just felt daunted and I stopped.
But by going to police, Maria felt the full force of Maxwell's fury. Terrified, Maria went into hiding and gave up her art career. What sort of threats has she made against you?
Originally, it started with things like, I'm going to burn your art. And then I'm going to burn your career. And then I'm going to burn you and the house you live in. And then it was, oh, be careful crossing a street. You know, you can get shot in the back of the head. You know, they were threats against my life. And I told the FBI this.
After abusing these little girls, they would then stalk them for the rest of their life and continue to verbally assault over the phone and just in person and anywhere that they could find them. They would follow these girls around for the rest of their life. Epstein's people continued to find her and would have tabs on her, calling her numbers to threaten her and continue to harass her for the rest of her life. She said that since the threats began, there have been 4 to 5 close calls where she was almost run off the road. Multiple cars, not just one, multiple.
Virginia Giuffre was one of the first women to actually sue Epstein and submit physical evidence, including photos that connected the main reason Prince Andrew ever faced any serious legal trouble. In 2019, a few weeks before the official release of the Epstein files, Virginia revealed on social media that she was receiving serious threats from unknown sources warning her of what would happen if she kept speaking out. Soon after, Virginia announced that she was writing a book about everyone she had seen during her time on Epstein's island and on his private plane, the Lolita Express. She allegedly committed suicide just days later. Now, this is where the situation becomes truly interesting. Shortly before her death, Virginia had actually tweeted about being silenced. The tweet stated that she was making it publicly known that in no way, shape, and GP. She added that if something happened to her for the sake of her family, people should not let it go away and should help protect them because too many evil people wanted to see her silenced forever.
Welcome back and Alive Now. I'm Austin Westfall. Breaking news coming in, some sad news to share. We're learning this from the New York Post, several other outlets reporting this as well. Virginia Giuffre, the most prominent victim of the late convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, took her own life on Thursday. This is just weeks after she made headlines for saying that she had days to live after she claimed to have been hit by a bus. A statement given to NBC News was quoted as such from the 41-year-old's family. It says, "It's with utterly broken hearts that we announce that Virginia passed away last night at her farm in Western Australia. She lost her life to suicide after being a lifelong victim of sexual abuse and sex trafficking." The New York Post says that Giuffre took legal action against billionaire financier Epstein in 2015, alleging that she was sex trafficked at age 16 after his ex-lover and convicted madam, Ghislaine Maxwell, recruited her from her job as a locker room attendant at President Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. The mom of 3, according to the Post, also alleged that she was forced to have sex with disgraced Prince Andrew 3 times when she was 17, including at Epstein's Little St. James Island in New Mexico, and Little St. James Island in New Mexico, and in Maxwell's London home, where a notorious photo of her with King Charles' eldest brother was taken. The Post says the allegations became the biggest scandal to rock the royal family in a generation. Again, hearing of the sad news just within the past hour, Virginia Giuffre, the most prominent victim of late convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, taking her own life on Thursday. It was announced on Friday, her death. She was 41 years old, her family confirming this.
Then she comes out publicly and says, "It was intended to be a private message. My excuse, thank
Again?
you." No, just on that, I have 5 days to live. And then a month later, or what, how about 3 weeks later, she's dead by suicide. Nothing about this story makes any sense whatsoever, any more than I'm expected to believe that Epstein killed himself. She also previously had tweeted, "If ever I'm not suicidal," although I think whenever someone takes to social media to say that, unironically, there's something going on. She posted a while back. We were on the cusp of of Epstein documents being released, seeing clients on that list. Virginia Giuffre is the most credible of the last of the living witnesses, the last public of the witnesses. And instead of the release of the documents, we have the death of the most prominent living testament to the horrors of the Epstein, Ghislaine, Prince Andrew, allegedly human trafficking ring. So none of it makes any sense. I don't believe that she took her own life. people are going to say whether or not she's even dead. If she wants to disappear from the face of the earth, this is how you do it, because maybe she just wants to not deal with this anymore. But I won't believe ever that she deliberately took her life.
Vinny.
Supporters of these theories claim that Ghislaine threatened Ellen, and that knowing the extent of her power, Ellen decided her best option was to move to the UK and hide. Now check this out. Emails from the Epstein files, along with court documents from prosecutors in Maxwell's case, show that Maxwell allegedly cut deals with 25 different celebrities to keep them quiet. Critics of Ellen claim she was one of them, and the fact that she shut down her show and disappeared from the spotlight just as Maxwell's deposition began is seen by them as a pretty big red flag.
We're learning more tonight about the tragic suicide of Stephen Twitch Boss and the detailed steps he took to hide his plans. TMZ is reporting when Twitch left his home the day before his suicide, he took an Uber to a motel about a mile away. At the motel, he switched his phone to airplane mode so no one could reach him. The motel manager says he checked in under his own name and never left his room. We also now know that Twitch left his note. Details have not been made public, but TMZ reports the note alluded to challenges Twitch had faced in the past. Entertainer Tyler Perry knows firsthand what that is like.
I want to take you back to a time in my life where I tried to commit suicide a couple of times because it was so dark. I thought the only way to make this better, this pain go away, is to end my life. Had any of those attempts happened, I would have missed the best part of my life.
This is where the story takes an even wilder turn. In 2022, just months after Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced to federal prison for her crimes, Ellen suddenly announced that she was shutting down her wildly successful show and quitting show business forever. Now, there are reports online suggesting that the real reason Ellen stepped away is because of her alleged connection to Epstein, and claims that she betrayed him and tipped off the police. Months after Ellen's show ended, her executive producer and her ex-girlfriend reportedly both died under extremely suspicious circumstances.
To a newly filed court document, Ghislaine Maxwell, the former associate of Jeffrey Epstein, she was convicted of trafficking minors, sentenced to 20 years in prison. She claims that 25 men, maybe friends, associates of the deceased financier, have been protected under secret settlements, secret deals, and that this information was not revealed to her during her trial. This is on top of what she claims are 4 other individuals, alleged co-conspirators, who were never charged. Obviously, I have thoughts. Is she telling the truth, particularly given her past, in light of what she's trying to do now? If this is true, number one, wow. And who are these people? What is a secret settlement? Can we ever find out? Can the public ever find out?
Her stories have changed so many times about what happens, when it happens, how it happens, with different versions. And each time she speaks, there's a different version.
And that is from the documentary that's just aired in the United States. That's come just off the satellite. For more, we're joined by US broadcaster Cooper Lawrence to dissect it. What did you make of Ghislaine Maxwell?
It reminded me of Nobody Taught Me How to Curtsy and I Didn't Inhale. There was a lot of this evidence that came out during the trial that suddenly she's like, no, it's fake. I mean, during the trial, they showed her that photo and she said, yeah, that's me. That's my apartment. I recognize it. And, it was one of the things that indicted her. Now suddenly it's a fake photograph.
Some users have also drawn parallels between Epstein's and Ellen's behavior. For example, Alex Jones has made claims suggesting that Epstein's Zorro Ranch was part of an operation to harvest stem cells from Black women, alleging that young Black women were impregnated through artificial insemination, and that pregnancies were later terminated for what he described as market value, though these are unverified accusations. He has also shown footage in which Peter Nygaard, one of Epstein's billionaire associates, is said to have made disturbing comments about preferring perfect eggs from Black women between 16 and 18 years old, while further claims suggest beliefs about harvesting biological material such as menstrual blood, placenta, and aborted pregnancies.
Billionaire freakazoid.
Yes.
And part of his deal, he's in prison in jail up in Canada, waiting, charges all over the globe. But his deal was that he would allegedly impregnate young women in the Bahamas, where he had a huge home, and then have them get abortions and harvest their stem cells of the fetuses to inject in himself as the fountain of youth. And we get into this in that documentary. And was Epstein involved in that sort of activity? I don't know.
That's where, and again, we just have to look at what we have and know what we don't yet.
Yeah.
But it's a question.
Yeah.
When you look at the context of the jerky stuff.
Yeah. And when you look at what other billionaire guys have done, you know, were they in contact somehow? I mean, obviously, you know, there are some people who are in the concentric circles of associates.
Now guess what products Ellen was promoting on her show? In one episode with Sandra Bullock, Ellen and Sandra Bullock openly discussed her use of adrenochrome extracted from children and laughed about how it kept them young and full of energy.
Let's talk about this facial that you're obsessed with. How many, did you get the whole cast of Ocean's 8 to do
Not
this?
everybody.
Okay, good, smart ones.
Just those that I thought would appreciate it.
Okay, explain what it is.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these, some of you, I think many of you know it, and it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes.
What are you pushing into the skin, Sandra? Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
Then there's the fact that, leading up to her show being shut down, Ellen was slowly becoming more and more controversial, especially when it came to how she interacted with younger celebrities. For example, back when Justin Bieber's private images were leaked by paparazzi, Ellen laughed at him and even showed a censored version of those images on her show. Keep in mind that at the time, Justin was just 20 years old, while Ellen was almost 55. Is it from Hollywood was just a coincidence? Or is there something deeper going on that people are trying to hide? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this story seems to be getting darker by the day. And before you go, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update.